Is God real? As we grow older, we start to think that we already know everything, that science proves everything, and that everything science tells us is the absolute truth. But what if I told you that science can also prove the existence of God? I'm here to prove to you, or at least convince you, that believing in God is not as dumb as it may seem. I'm going to give you 3 arguments that prove, or at least give you something to think about, whether God is real or not. The cosmological argument. Have you heard of the law that energy cannot be created nor destroyed? So, it begs the question, where did energy came from? Science says that everything came from the Big Bang. But what caused the Big Bang? Or what was the Big Bang made of? Or why did an explosion create something? As we can see, if something explodes, it usually ends up in more chaos and not more organization. Even if you wait billions of years, an explosion is just an explosion. But that's just my thought about the Big Bang. It's not the actual argument. Anyway, back to the argument. If you look at everything around you right now, you can trace where things came from. Your phone came from different parts assembled together. The screen, the body, the electronic parts, the batteries, the plastics, the wires, and the metals. And you can track them to their most basic form in the earth. And then, when you look at where everything came from the earth, to the solar system, to the galaxies, and to the universe, ask yourself this: where did all of this came from? Atheists often blame us Christians for believing that if something cannot be explained, it must be God. But I ask you this: can science also prove that there is no God? A handful of well-known scientists believe that there is a creator, designer, and a power that set forth everything that happened from the beginning of time. Science also has a belief system where we think we know something because science says so, like the Big Bang. No one has actually proven it is real, yet we believe that it is true. We believe it is the most probable cause of the universe's existence, hence the Big Bang theory. So, track everything to its source. Something is always made of something, and something always comes from something. It becomes an endless loop. But what caused it in the first place? There has to be something outside of it, something outside of creation that made all these things possible. What it means is something had to be there to cause the never-ending loop, because the loop can't start without a first cause. And if you ask me what caused God, I have this video that answers this question. Basically, if there's a design, there's a designer. Look at your computer. You wouldn't tell me that this computer came about over billions and billions of years. Look at a simple symphony. You wouldn't tell me that those notes just came about after millions and millions of years, and that they are just random noises organized into a simple pattern. You wouldn't say that a book, with all its letters, words, sentences, paragraphs, stories, with cover and everything, came about by chance over billions of years. You'd say, I'm dumb. But you are basically a book. There are words in you that dictates what a specific cell would do and how it would function, which also tells your cell what to become. And that's your DNA, also known as the book of life. If a much less complex normal book needs a writer, an author, and a publisher, how much more a book that makes its own body and design? So, design means a designer. I once heard a chemist is very careful when mixing all the chemicals they use and follows proper measurements. How much more us? Are we not infinitely more complex than a bunch of chemicals? Are we just an accident formed from a primordial soup, and that cell somehow had the information to create more of itself? Ask yourself, there had to be something that designed everything, and a much better chemist to be able to conduct this much specificity in our body and our DNA. A doctor who is an atheist once said that our eyes cannot be just a random accident. If you believe evolution is real, that's more of a belief system rather than a scientific fact. because it's based on assumptions and not directly proven through observations. And if you think evolution is real, we haven't observed anything evolved from a single-cell organism into a two-cell organism. And we cannot see organisms that exhibit 3-cell organism, 4-cell organism, and so on. And if you say that there's a species change or that a new species came from different species, yes, that's possible. But we've never seen a lizard become a dog or a fish became a bird. I'll make it short and sweet. Basically, it says that we have a moral code built within us. We know what is wrong, and what is right. We know killing babies is wrong. Rape is wrong. Murder is wrong. And we know what Hitler did was also wrong. It's all within us. If you say that morals come from society and come naturally from nature, it means not all wrong is wrong and not all right is right. Your right might not be right to someone else, and someone else's wrong might not be wrong, because it's not based on something objective but just on nature developing itself. There has to be an objective moral sense and the ability to identify what is wrong and what is right. If not, we can basically do whatever we want, because not all wrong is wrong. So, morals had to be set by someone, and that someone is God. So, if you're still here, I have a bonus argument for you. Science doesn't disprove the Bible, and there is no archaeological evidence that disproves the validity of the Bible. And here are some examples. Hand washing was already introduced in the Bible as a way to keep the body clean. In the 1800s, doctors didn't wash their hands, which increased the deaths of many people during operations, and people didn't know why until the discovery of microbes and infections, which introduced the importance of hand washing. The Bible states that the earth is an empty space. Before people even thought of the earth as round, the Bible already said it is. There are archaeological discoveries that prove events that happened in the Bible, and there are archaeological sites that were only discovered because of the descriptions written in the Bible.